Alrighty, guys, welcome. I'm going to start answering questions in about 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing some guitar. Thank you so much for everyone who's going to be tuning in. I'm just going to set up the live over here. As I said, guys, we're going to be going live in about 15 minutes. Going live. Sorry, we're gonna start answering questions in about 15 minutes. So. Yeah, so I'll keep reiterating, guys. We're gonna start answering questions in about 15 minutes. If you guys have not on my story right now, you can put in a question. I think I'm gonna put a little thing in here so you can start asking some questions. Hey, Thalia. Hey, Sasha. Yeah, guys. I'm also doing a live stream on YouTube at the same time. But yeah, as I said, going to be answering questions in about 15 minutes, and I'm going to start playing guitar in about 3 minutes. So just get comfy, maybe get some questions ready, throw them in the comments or on my story, or go ahead and go to the chat on YouTube, and you can do that as well. Whew. Hola, Sasha. How are you? Thank you for the follow, by the way. You know, it's funny. This morning, me and my roommate were trying to figure out more ways to bring in different types of revenue besides like music and then working at the studio, which we both do. And I don't know. We kind of hit like a brick wall on what exactly we were going to be doing. One of them was just like grabbing free stuff off of Craigslist and selling them. Another was actually getting a old tape recorder and then running audio through it, like mixing and mastering and all that kind of stuff. And like the stuff is kind of expensive, so it would be a little bit of an investment. But again, it's more ways to make money. Hello, Mary Claire. How are you? Yeah, at 3:05, guys, I'm gonna start playing guitar, and then at 3:15, I'm gonna start answering questions for you guys. And the thing that we're gonna get, the analog recorder, is called a Porter Studio. It's from Tascam. Kind of look like that. They look like this. Exceedingly hard to find and usually pretty freaking expensive if they're in decent condition. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see how all this goes. It's kind of unfortunate that everything got shut down here in Vancouver. I think it was like yesterday. It all got shut down. So I don't know. It is what it is. But you know, we'll try to make the best of it. Alrighty, so let's play some guitar. Hey, dude. How you doing? Yeah, as I said, guys, I'll just keep on reiterating for everyone in the YouTube and just joining me here on Instagram. I'm going to be answering questions at 3:15. I'm going to play guitar till then, and I'm just going to be talking about random stuff in the meantime. If you got any questions, go ahead and throw them in either the comment section here, ahoy mate, in the comment section here, or go into the chat, or go onto my story, and you can just add it as a new one, and we're going to start answering questions at 3:15. Looks like I gotta tune it. I got this super handy app for anyone who plays guitar. It's called a Guitar Tuna, and it's just like a pretty simple guitar tuner. Cool, good enough. This camera's so zoomed in here on Instagram. Just so the people on YouTube can actually see the guitar I'm holding. It's nothing special. Actually, there's a funny story about this guitar. So, I used to be really obsessed, and I talked about this in my last live stream, about how I was obsessed with classical guitar when I was in high school. That's where I was gonna say I really liked guitar beforehand, but that's where my passion really for guitar kind of like flourished. And it was in that class that I saw a bunch of different types of guitar, and at the time I had a guitar that my dad had gotten me from Mexico that wasn't the greatest quality, but nevertheless still appreciated the gift, because guitars are kind of expensive, or at least they can be. Oh, hey Jack. And yeah, so in that class I only played with my classical guitar. Well, eventually we ended up getting a classical guitar. My mom bought me one from Long McQuaid for like $600. And I really didn't like electric guitar because I thought the tones that came out of it were super duper harsh. And at this time I still wasn't really producing my own music, so I didn't really know how to adjust tones and stuff like that. And with the implementation of like DAWs and stuff, like Ableton, in which they, like now I can plug in my guitar directly into Ableton and make it sound however I want. I can make it sound like a saxophone if I wanted to, or if I knew how. It's probably the better one. Hi, Ivy. But yeah, so I really didn't like electric guitars, and it was only after going to a whole bunch of different things, experiencing a whole bunch of different things, and actually ended up selling my classical guitar when times got super duper tough, that I really appreciated this electric guitar that I actually got given to me before I got the classical guitar, but I just never opened it. It was in this old Gibson package. It was I think it was a guitar that my mom bought me at Best Buy, electric guitar at Best Buy. You too kind, Jack. You too kind. But yeah, and I didn't really like the gift because I thought it was a cheap guitar, and I was super douchey about it. But then after, when I started producing music a little bit more, and especially when I was living in Abbotsford, I kind of developed this new love for electric guitar because it was easier to implement inside of music than acoustic. Acoustic if it doesn't have any kind of pickup in it, you need to record it with a mic. And I didn't have a good enough mic. Well, now I have this one, but that one isn't remotely good enough. Hey, Juliet. And yeah, and then I ended up kind of like digging through a whole bunch of crates at my mom's house until I actually found it, and all the strings were broken, not surprisingly. And so I replaced all the strings in it, and I got this one over to my place in Abbotsford, and I started making music with it, where I really kind of developed a connection with the guitar, kind of flourishing on the connection that I made with guitar in high school. And yeah, now I use it for all my production. It's a really cheap guitar. I mean, anyone who knows anything about guitars will know this is an absolute piece of poo-poo. But if it serves a purpose, who cares? Film V2, thank you. But yeah, again, guys, I'm going to start answering questions about 3:15, and then that's going to go on for about 30 minutes, and then at the very end, I'm going to talk about some new stuff coming up, and different topics, and pretty much open to anyone to suggesting anything, but I have a few lined up, so we can keep it going. So I'm answering questions at 3:15. If you want, go ahead and throw them in. And yeah. Oh, but just to finish off the story for the guitar, next one is, I think I'm going to try to get an acoustic guitar. If it has a pickup in it, it's fine. Oh, well, that would be preferable, so I could really plug it into the to my DAW here, into my interface. But if not, I mean, a beautiful, like, classical, no, not classical, like an acoustic guitar, like a Martin, an old Martin. Old guitars are just like, I don't know, it's like old guitars have developed, like, they have their own story to them, like a bunch of old things, like vintage cars, like vintage clothing. They all have their own story, and I think that's really personified with old guitars, right? You have no idea what they were playing beforehand, and they have like this kind of age and tear, and maybe some of the wood is damaged. Yeehaw, Brandon Story. Yeehaw. And they kind of have their own personalities to them, right? So it's really cool to kind of just go out and experience some of these older guitars. And yeah, so that's probably one I want to add to my collection. Well, to add to my guitar rack. Probably like an old Martin would be beautiful. And if I was going to go with an electric, maybe like a Duosonic or a old Japanese Strat would be amazing. But again, I'm super picky, so it'd probably take me a while to find something I like. And of course, it'd have to be like, if I'm buying it brand new, I'm probably like a pretty color or something like that. Sorry for blowing in the mic. Sweater's actually getting pretty toasty in here. Turned up the heat just before I sat down. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, totally right, Jack. It's like that for a lot of different things. There's a lot of, like, analog gear has this old kind of, I don't want to say about, like, old, but, like, this kind of almost random tone to it, right? Like, in guitars, it could be, like, a detuned tone, or it could be, I don't know, just the pickups or the bridges are a little bit bent, or they have, like, nicks and dings, and the paint's kind of scratched, and then the guitar is kind of in beat up form. But that kind of just like lends to the tonal qualities of the guitar. So it's pretty cool when it actually gets going. Fish test. Pee-pee. Chat's going wild. Alrighty, guys. So we got to the point where we're gonna start answering questions, and I'm gonna put them up, kind of like animated here on Instagram, and then I'm just gonna be answering them straight up here on YouTube as well. So very first question: would you kindly share your work ethics, and how to execute properly? I don't know if I don't know if I'm an expert at this, but we can start with the first one. My work ethics. I would just say my work ethics kind of stemmed from how I was raised and having two really really hardworking parents who had to fight for everything, who immigrated here from Argentina and Chile and didn't speak the language and had to basically claw tooth and nail to have anything. Really, it was a really good example for me where it's just like if you want anything in this world, no one really gives you anything for free. And I mean, yeah, and they kind of proved that over and over again. It's like I wasn't obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously, but like growing up, it wasn't always the best, but they gave me the best they had, and I could always see that both of my parents were working really, really hard, and that kind of instilled with me the drive to uh, work really, really hard. And like I was saying at the beginning of this, it's like one thing that's kind of I've learned from them, and that's kind of been concreted with my time here in Vancouver and in BC, is that yeah, the world's a eat or be eaten world, and but maybe not that cutthroat, but just like if you want anything in life, you got to go out and you got to grab it and you got to get it, and you got to make sure that um, how could I say this? Yeah, it just you got to work hard. You got to make sure that that's what you want, and you got to be sure that you if you're gonna do it, you got to go all in on it. So that's kind of that's my work ethic. Just for me, I make a schedule. I said this in my last post on YouTube. I just I develop a schedule for myself. Wake up at 6 a.m. sometimes 5 in the morning, depending on what I have to do for the day, and I get everything done usually before noon. Record videos and stuff, and I just make sure my time is scheduled. And I frequently have to say no to going out, even though sometimes I really really want to. But I know that eventually there's gonna be a time where I'll have enough time to do anything I want and enough resources to not have to worry about anything and be at a point where I really enjoy like what I do. So that's why sometimes I just have to say no to certain things. So yeah, so that's my work ethic. And how do I execute properly? Again, just going back to that, it's just scheduling for yourself and then learning to say no to certain things, even though like sometimes you don't want to. Even to your friends, it's just got to make sure you aggressively value your time. Oh, hey, Kalia, I think that's how you pronounce that. And yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. Thank you so much for the question. I don't know how to switch this. Okay. Cool. Well, we can just keep going. So let's go to the next one. How long does it take to get ready in the morning? So usually that's why I usually wake up so early, because it usually takes me, I don't know, about an hour. So I'll kind of just walk through what my schedule kind of looks like. So if I wake up at 6, I usually I wake up, drink like a cup of water just to get my body going. I go into the bathroom, put on my contacts, or just rock some glasses for the day. And then, I probably shouldn't do that into the mic. And then, work out. Usually do like push-ups, squats, I don't know, jumping jacks, stuff like that, just to get the blood pumping. It's usually a really good way to wake up for me. Then I take a shower, out of the shower, and yeah, make myself some breakfast. It's usually a smoothie, like berries. So it's usually like a berry smoothie with like protein powder or something in there, or like a breakfast powder thing. And I don't know, it changes. What else? And usually that's it. And then I sit down and I start making music or answering emails, stuff like that. So usually, I would say I'm usually ready to go in about 30 minutes altogether with making breakfast and tea and what I usually have in the morning. So yeah, I'm usually done pretty quick. And so we're going to go to another one. This one was DM'd to me, so let me just pull it up on my phone. Thank you so much for the question, by the way. Okay, so this one actually comes from a DM. So, do you like scary movies? And so I've kind of bounced around with this. Earlier in my life, I didn't really like scary movies because they're scary. But as time has gone on, I kind of appreciated the fact that some scary movies can actually make you feel an emotion that's not real, and so that's something I became kind of obsessed with. And I just really really enjoyed watching a bunch of really scary movies, like of all types. And the more genuine the scares could be, the better it was. And I don't know, it was like, and then I got like a really like firm appreciation for good scary movies, and know when there was like, sorry, another burp, bad scary movies. Like, what was it? Recently, the movie La Llorona, I thought was absolutely trash, or The Nun, such a wasted opportunity. Both, which I thought they were going to be good, but ended up being absolute garbage. But now I think I've moved more towards kind of like thrillery, mind, psychological, scary movies, ones that kind of give you like an uneasy feeling. Thanks for the flames, Jack. Yeah, those are probably my favorite. So yeah, I do like scary movies, but yeah, I think now more like psychological thrillers are my jam. So we'll get into another question here. We're going to take this one directly from the Instagram stories. So, why don't you release more music? Your fans are hungry for more. So I kind of alluded to this one in the past couple videos I've made and past couple live streams, but I can reiterate again. So my biggest thing right now is recently I took a course from Cosmic Academy to kind of help upgrade my music quality, my production value, and all the things around, and really help me build the brand that I want to build and the music that I want to give to you guys, because my biggest problem up to this point was just getting ideas from my head on to Ableton, at least in an organized fashion, because ideas, I got many of them, but my biggest problem was being able to actually like make those into songs. And how could I say this? So I'll kind of give you an example. I can't really explain it, but so my first day in the class, we were talking with the production teacher, and the production teacher said he was looking at the first song that I submitted, and he's like, so I listened to this, and it's good, but it's like you have like 6 or 7 ideas in here that could be one's like a song each, right? And it's like you're trying to cram too much and trying to do too much in these songs, and like it's important to have songs that are quality and that are good, obviously, but it's also important that you don't take on too much onto your plate and like, kind of overwhelm yourself. So that's something that took me a really, really long time to kind of grasp. And now that I'm making about a song a week, I'm getting closer and closer to being able to make the music that I really, really want to make and that I really want to be able to provide with you to you guys. And that's probably the most important thing for me, is just being able to give you guys the music that I think is the most representative of who I am at the moment. And I want you guys to be able to know me a little bit through my music, which at some points is kind of hard, but that's something I'm working on, to being able to give you guys, and being able to work on music a little bit more. Well, a little bit more. Being able to crank out music so you guys can actually hear it. And I'd actually just recently finished a song that I'm going to be making a video for. You guys voted for me to make one that is crying, one that's going to make you cry. I'll try my best to do that, but I'll continue to give you guys more kind of tidbits as the time goes on. But yeah, thank you so much for the question, and yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I think I had the same question last week, but I'll answer it again. Would you like to be famous? I feel like I would be lying if I said I didn't. But one thing that I'm kind of cautious about is is kind of like the fame trap, and thinking that you're better than everyone else, and that's something I really want to reiterate. And it kind of goes along with one of my goals, is to help inspire change and inspire people who are questioning themselves on whether to follow their passions or not. And I think that's going to tie in really, really well, because I just want to make it super clear that I'm no different than anyone else. I just actively made a decision to follow the things that I really want to do. That's it. And I mean, working really hard and like meeting the right people and putting effort in the right places is also super important. But yeah, I don't know. It's just working really hard. And would I like to be famous? Yeah, I'd like to be famous, because with that fame, I'm going to be able to do so much with not just inspiring people like some of my followers to maybe if they've been stuck in a job for a really long time and they would like to, and they had a passion, maybe they love screenwriting, and their parents are like, screenwriting is a dumb idea, and you have to get yourself a normal job, to really kind of be something that they can lean on and be like, yeah, maybe the odds are 1 in a million, but it's 1 in a million for every single person who subsequently did it before you. And that can be something really, really, I feel like that can be something really, really important to a lot of people. That it's like, the odds are 1 in a million, sure. There's a lot of people on this earth, and there's a lot of opportunities. And maybe you won't be able to do exactly what you want. But one thing that I learned is, if you just put your mind to it and you do the right things, and how do you know what the right things are? I don't know, it's just trial and error, basically. That you'll be able to accomplish the things that you want. And that's probably all I can say on that, but, I mean, there's a really roundabout way to say, would I like to be famous? Yes. Simply, yes. I would love to be famous. It'd be pretty cool. So, we'll load up another question here, guys. Sorry, it's just taking a second to load up here, guys. I'm just monitoring the chat on the other phone. Alrighty, so let's load up this question. Cool. How old am I, and why did you live in Chilliwack? That's interesting. So I am 23 years old. Just turned 23. Wow, 23 years old. Kind of feels like a long time if you think about it. I feel like I just graduated like not too long ago. Either way. Yeah, so I'm 23 years old, born 1997 on July 18th. Yeah, so I'm a summer baby. And why did I live in Chilliwack? So that's actually a longer story. So when we first moved here, we lived in Vancouver, and then we lived in Surrey, and then we lived in Surrey for a long time, and that's where I kind of developed my previous passion for soccer. Still a passion for soccer. And then yeah. And then my dad got a job in Chilliwack. And my parents were wanting us to go into French immersion. So at that time, the only French immersion school that we knew was in Abbotsford. So I started going to school in Abbotsford when I first moved to Chilliwack. And I remember kicking and screaming with my parents because I'm like, I don't want to leave Surrey. I have so many friends here. I have like a life that I've spent a while kind of building. And I told them like I don't want to leave. But like most kids, when they're moving when they're young, they never want to leave. So I mean, I get my parents. It was a tough decision, but one that was probably necessary. So yeah, and then so I lived in Chilliwack for probably like a really, really long time. That's where I met all my closest friends, and that's where I met all the people that I currently live with now here in Vancouver. So, and yeah, Chilliwack's a beautiful place. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to go to Chilliwack, I would strongly suggest it. There's a lot of beautiful mountains. The city's kind of meh. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's anything like the city's anything special. The people there are pretty cool, or at least they can be. But what really makes Chilliwack special is the mountains and lakes and rivers that surround it. It's so very beautiful, and Chilliwack has a really special place in my heart. And I think that one day I'll probably end up owning something like a house or an apartment somewhere there. Just, kind of to help pass the time. And yeah, Chilliwack is beautiful. Strongly suggest it. If you guys ever get a chance, go out there and check it out. And go to Chilliwack Lake. It's beautiful. Way better than Cultus Lake. I might piss off some Chilliwack people in the chat right now, but it's all good. Okay. Order. Cool, guys. So I'm going to play a little bit of guitar, and then we can get right back into it. Cool. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I really, really love San Holo and kind of all Bitbird music. It seems very calming and bright. Probably my favorite song from one of my favorite songs right now is Everything Matters by San Holo. If you guys haven't got a chance, I would strongly suggest checking it out. The beginning is probably my favorite part. Vestal Avenue, again by San Holo, really good. Show Me, again by San Holo, also very good songs. Wish I had my computer up and going right now. I had to move the connector into this one. So, but anyway, guys, let's get on to the very next question. So, okay, so this one's cool. So talk about your older work. Where to start? Actually, let's load it up. I'm just gonna go to Spotify and check out some of my older work, and that'll probably bring up some good memories. Oh my. So let's talk about, I don't know, kind of like the more recent ones are the ones that probably feel the best. One Day's pretty cool. Let's kind of listen to it. Oh yeah, I remember making this. I can hear so many mistakes in the song right now, like over compression, not using reverb buses. But if I'm being really honest, out of this whole song, I'll tell you guys in a minute so you can check it out if you guys want. Minute 119, that really high pitched. This one. I love that sound so much. There's so much like dissonance to it. And I also made a video for this one. This one's actually also on my YouTube. And I remember making this song, and I remember so at my old place in Abbotsford, I got to watch the sunset every single day, kind of like how I get to watch it set here on really clear days. And I remember making this, and the sun was just going down, and that day I'd just been really sad. And I don't know, just kind of everything came together for me to make this song, and it just kind of worked out perfectly. And I remember like singing the vocals and doing the whole process in that room. And I love tobacco smelling, like warm tobacco candles. And like hearing the song kind of reminds me of like old warm tobacco candles. I know it sounds weird, but they actually smell pretty good, kind of like musky. And hopefully it doesn't play again. Yeah, so that one was really good. I really like to make music based on how I'm feeling in the moments, and it really just leads me to make music that I find really valuable. And I feel like it could probably be good for the people that listen to it, and maybe people can how do we say this? Get to know me better by listening to my music and kind of like know how I'm feeling when I'm making certain music. And that's really true with the last song that I just made. Emotions live really raw in me, and I don't know, I just feel everything like 1,000%. Hey Andre. So yeah, so that's one day, and then I guess let's listen to that one. Oh yeah, this is like so much reverb. I don't know, it's kind of funny when you look at your old work and you can like pick up mistakes, and like yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but again, it's all a learning process, and that's why kind of going back to one of the earlier questions, I'm taking a while to actually release music, is because I just want to make music that I'm really proud of, and that I can eventually look back and kind of laugh, but now it's just something I can kind of like look back and enjoy, and it kind of marks points and stuff in my life. Hey Andre, how you doing? I'm just talking about some of my older music on Spotify. And actually, I made a video for I Guess as well. Both of those are going to be on my YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. And then Close. I can't believe this is all released in 2020. I feel like I released these eons ago. January, so one day was released June 12th, 2020. That's funny. May 29th, 2020. And Close was released March 2020. Doing great, man. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't, I mean, there's not that many people watching on the IG, but if you get a chance, check out Andre. He takes really good pictures, and he's a mogul. He's gonna do some great stuff. He's got really great attitude as well. And then, oh, so quiet. Yeah, Close. And you can see, I mean, you can hear with all of these that they're all kind of like very heavily guitar. But that's kind of what I'm vibing with right now. Actually, I haven't listened to these songs in a long ass time. No problem, homie. I think after I'm in this live stream, I'm gonna listen to some of this music and kind of just remember the different moments that I went through during some of these because I want to make music that kind of represents different portions and different parts of my life, and I think that each one of these songs kind of represent that. And I know that was kind of really long-winded way of kind of talking about my older work, but yeah. So that was that. Let's go right into the next one. So kind of on the same kind of wind, can you tell us about any releases? Yeah, so I can tell you about one that I'm probably almost done. And this one's probably just going to be a video. Yeah, so that one's probably just going to be a video. And I haven't really come up for a name with it, but we can listen to it closer to the end of the live stream. Yeah, it's really pretty. Well, actually, who cares? Let's listen to it right now. I'll answer that one right after I show everyone this song. I'm going to show you a certain part. Well, actually, I'll just show you the beginning, just so it's quick. You might not be able to hear it very well because it's just on my phone, but...
Geez, I wish I would have been able to get a chance to actually talk to you, but maybe the answering machine is better. I know it's been a while since we last talked.
Yeah, so that one's coming up quick. I don't really have a name for that one, but again, I think that one's just going to be a video, and I'm going to be making the video pretty soon here. I'm just going to have to come up... Well, I already have the general idea of what I want to make, but I just got to, like, storyboard it and kind of, like, layer it out so I can have a really good... some really good production to it, and really, accomplish the emotions that I'm trying to portray. So, to answer Andre's question... Thanks for the question, by the way, dude. When did I start making music? So that one's kind of tricky. When did I start making music? I don't even think my friends could tell me that. I think... So I've been kind of dabbling with making music since about 2019, 2018. And I really got serious into actually making music in the later parts of 2019. And that's when I started really taking music very seriously. Beforehand, it was just kind of like I was DJing quite a bit, and eventually I figured out that, I mean, DJing gets you only so far, but if you really want to be successful in the music industry, you got to make your own music. Because I didn't want to be just a DJ. I want to be like a musician, and encompass all the things that a musician does. Make his own music, and eventually make my own stages, produce my own shows, like the whole thing. So that's where I want to go with my music. But to answer your question, Andre, thank you again for asking it. Probably about late 2018, probably 2019 is when I started really taking it seriously. Thank you. Okay, so let's load up some more questions here. Internet is ridiculously slow here. It's probably something I should really invest in with my roommates here. Yeah, 2 years. Oh. Yeah, 2 years, and I mean it's gonna be a long time coming until I'm really done making music, but I think it's gonna be really amazing once I really get to a point where it's what I do full time, and I can put all my concentration and emotion on it. I mean, I can kind of do that right now, but I want to be able to not have to worry about any type of money. And right now, it's just something that kind of goes through my head every now and then. Te quiero mucho también, Lupita. Just loading up some more questions here, guys. If you have any ones, just toss them in the chat. Thank you for everyone who's been kind of sticking around. I really appreciate all of you guys. Okay, I think the internet should be back on this one. Oh, I already answered that question. Okay, so hot or cold weather. This one's kind of a toss up because I told my friends that if I ever had to live in a another country, it would probably be a cold one, like somewhere in Northern Europe, like Finland. Well, actually, those would be the ones I would kind of escape to. I'm gonna correct myself there. Iceland would be another place. I really, really, really badly want to own a house in Iceland that I can go to make music and kind of just like forget the world exists for about like 6 months, and then just kind of get into the monotony of like waking up, making music, kind of what I do now, but just be like really alone. I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of feeling lonely. It's something that used to really really scare me, but now I've learned to really kind of feel all the different parts of being lonely, and I really appreciate it. And I feel like the cold kind of amplifies that. But if I'm being super honest, Barcelona is one of my favorite places in this world that I've been to so far. It's beautiful. The people are amazing. The weather's amazing. The beaches are amazing. City's amazing, and it's a hotter place. Andre, have you ever been to Iceland? Got a question here on. Yeah, I'm just kind of questioning Andre here on IG, but. Dun, dun. Yeah, dude, it's been one of my dreams for such a long time to be able to live in Iceland. I'm gonna do it. I heard living there is kind of expensive, but maybe just owning like a small studio that I can. Yeah, well, I'm planning on as well. Maybe we can carpool to Iceland. But yeah, I want to own a house in Iceland for sure. Another one is somewhere in South America. I'm not going to say where because that is my hiding spot. Just in case, I don't know, whatever. It's a place I'll go to if I really need to hide. This is the place I'll go. Yeah, I assumed it was gonna be pretty expensive, but I don't know, maybe just buy a house or a small shack or something. I don't know. It's something I gotta look into a little bit more, but it's something. It's definitely a place I want to do when I have a bit more money. I think I'll let. I was gonna crack this goyaki, but I think I'll leave it. I've been feeling kind of weird today. Not bad, like $1,200. I don't know what the exact conversion rate, but I'm gonna guess it's about 1,000, maybe 1,200. So it's not that bad. It's about what I pay right now here. So. Alright, let's get into the next question here, guys. We're almost at the end here. My favorite song. It's so mood dependent because sometimes I'm really into like I like some rock songs or some like old nostalgic songs. I'll kind of just pull up a just kind of a chart or my Spotify playlist and see what I like. So there's this really beautiful song by Analog Deer. If you haven't got a chance to listen to it, he's amazing. There's a song called "Better Off Alone," and that probably sounds familiar because it's another song. Do you think I'm better off alone? Yeah, he does it in B major and kind of breaks it down with piano and violin, and it's absolutely a masterpiece in music. And that one's when I'm feeling really sad. What else? Soft Side of Things by Analog Deer is also really good. What else? Where's that rock song I really like? Staggered in Lies, Sagrimonti. That one's really, really good. If you guys are feeling kind of like motivational and you want to like conquer the world, that's the kind of song I would go for. Staggered in Lies. I think it's like 8 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes and 31 seconds, and it's an absolute monster of a song, all recorded live in a studio with analog gear. It sounds absolutely crispy, and that one's really good. I really like "Let It Happen" by Tame Impala, especially the really trippy part. I don't know. It's if I was gonna say one like absolutely right now, probably "Better Off Alone" in B major by Analog Deer. Seems to encompass a lot of my emotion recently. So yeah, thank you so much for the question. So we got about 10 minutes left, guys. If you have any questions you want to ask in here, go ahead and do it up. I'm going to see if I can try to load up the rest of these questions and see if we can get to all of them before we are done. Ooh, my hand's in the way. Ba, 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 da, ba, da, 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 da. Do you think I'm better off alone? I'm just gonna go see if there's any on Facebook left. My mom put in one of the things here on Facebook. She's like, I have ask any questions, right? And she put, instead of a question, she just put, "I love you." So I love you too, Mom. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Erica. Cool. So let's get into the last little series of questions here, guys. Do I get angry a lot? I'll kind of elaborate on the question. No, actually, I don't get angry a lot. Not many things really genuinely piss me off. I usually just get pretty sad and quiet. Unless it's something that really, really pisses me off, and then I act really, not standoffish, but like stern. Yeah, I'm not really a yeller. Never have been, probably never will be, because I just hate when people get yelled at. There was an incident not too long ago where somebody that I was working with got yelled at, and I really, 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 really disliked that. I don't know, because I wouldn't appreciate that. I don't think the other person would either, so... Yeah. Like that specific one happened when I was working in Chilliwack at a Tim Hortons. I'm not going to name who it was or who was yelling at who, but I don't know. I can just remember ever since then, I really, really just dislike when people get yelled at. It's just like there's so many better ways to communicate with someone, and I mean, we're not animals, and I don't even think you should yell at your animals. But yeah, just treat everyone with kindness and just be nice and be considerate of other people's emotions. You don't know what they're going through, right? So I try to keep that in mind when I get maybe flustered or angry, or because I'm not extremely patient. I'm pretty patient, but I'm not super patient. That maybe not everyone is at the same maybe understanding as I am, or I don't know. It's just one of my good friends, Mark, made a really good point. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So I try to keep that in mind every single time I get angry or flustered. So again, thank you so much for the question. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so that's all the questions I'm going to be taking. And this last couple of minutes, I'm just going to be talking about some stuff that I've been working on. Yeah, and just talk about a couple of topics I got lined up here. So let me just load them up. So yeah, actually, let's talk about in the last few minutes we got left here. Let's talk about my move to Vancouver. How'd that go? And why did I decide to move to Vancouver? How did I move to Vancouver? And what was the jumping point for me? So I've always wanted to live in Vancouver. It's been one of my dreams ever since we moved to Chilliwack, and it's something that, I mean, a lot of people talk about. You kind of wait for your moment to, like, always be ready for the moment that, like, the right moment that presents itself, so that you can jump on the things that you really want to do. And that's something I really took into consideration. And when COVID hit, and I was living in Abbotsford, and my lease was coming to an end, I really didn't know what I was going to do, because, again, COVID was happening, and so it was probably going to be really difficult to find a place, which it really was. Finding a place here in Vancouver was absolute hell. But the moment came, and I was with the right people at the right time, and it just happened, and it was absolutely incredible, and I'm so thankful for everyone who kind of joined me on this magical journey to Vancouver. And what I would just suggest for other people who are considering moving to Vancouver, just, like, believe in yourself and trust in yourself, and when the moment, like, arrives, hardly in history has anyone ever been ready to jump and do the things that they really want to do without some type of fear. So fear is completely normal, and most of the time, if you just work hard, you can figure it out, and you can accomplish the things that you really want to do. And that's something I really had to take in mind, because, I mean, I'm very kind of risk aversive, and that's kind of changed in the past year, since I realized that there's a lot of things that kind of aren't at your disposal if you don't really kind of stick your neck out there and kind of go for it, right? So yeah, I know that's kind of my story about moving to Vancouver. And then, so just let's talk about the upcoming releases. So I'm going to release that music video in sometime soon. I'm going to be keeping you guys updated here on IG and on, of course, YouTube. If anyone who's watching this hasn't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead, and if you think I deserve it, give me a good old subscribe. Or if you haven't already, consider liking the video if you like the video, or if you don't like the video, go ahead and give it a dislike. Let me know in the comments down below why it sucks, or why I suck. Either or, doesn't matter. And yeah, check out my music on Spotify. I'm going to be having more music coming up pretty soon. Yeah, guys, and I'm just going to end it right here. I really appreciate everyone who's been watching and everyone who's been interacting with me on IG and, of course, YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to be trying a couple different things in these live streams coming up. I'm going to make this just like a weekly segment or a bi-weekly segment or something like that, and just kind of talk about different topics for the whole thing. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, Andre. See you guys. Do you think you're better off?